We have to wait. There we go.
But can you hear me now? No. I don't think there's sound on
Can
this
you guys
side.
hear me? You're just hearing my amplified or just my regular voice, right?
Yeah,
They can't hear me?
I don't hear me now, though. I can't
And this
actually
one's
hear
not
me.
working either. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's not working.
I know I'm not
And
on.
she's not on now either.
Well, we're going to start singing soon anyway.
Either. Okay.
Rena, the songs are 338 through 341, all the little ditties. It'll be so much fun.
Oh,
No, yours is working. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, good.
there we go. Lie, 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 lie. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
It's
Shalom.
really a treasure. This synagogue is a treasure. We live in turbulent times, and so I'm glad that we have this holy community to give us strength when we need it, to create a setting that can be peaceful and restful and restorative. And let's just appreciate the blessing that we do have. So we continue with the reading on page 143. Holy One, give me a quiet heart and help me to hear the still small voice that speaks within me. It calls me to come close to you and to grow in your likeness. It teaches me to do my work faithfully, even when no one's eye is upon me. It counsels me to judge others kindly and to love them freely, for it persuades me to see divinity in everyone I meet. Help me, O God, to come to the end of each day, feeling that I used its gifts wisely and faced its trials bravely. I now call forward our president, Leslie Berger. The other one, I see the green light.
Now can you hear me? Yep. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Leslie Berger, president of Temple Beth Or. Thank you, Rabbi Muroff, for attending the pro-Israel rally in D.C., representing our community. It's amazing that over 250,000 Jews can come together peacefully and support each other. No fighting, there was no violence. Don't forget to RSVP for the latkes and vodka event on December 2nd. Early bird prices end on Sunday. Go online to register. We still need some more latke chefs. There's no competition, we just need latkes. Please contact Joanne Kotkin if interested in making latkes. Torah studies tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. The link for the Torah for tomorrow morning was sent on last Sunday's e-blast, and the one for Tuesday will be in this Sunday's e-blast. This Sunday is the Interfaith Thanksgiving service across the street at the Methodist Church at 5 p.m. Armed security will be there. And we will welcome back Rena as our soloist tonight. Thank you to Rabbi Muroff for leading services tonight with Rena's beautiful voice, and of course Dr. Ray for the music. The gift shop is open before services on Friday nights and on Sundays beginning December 3rd during religious school. don't forget to buy your Hanukkah stuff. And by then, we should have our guilt. We ordered a little later. We didn't want it to go bad. Thanks to our tech team, Phil Carey, David Youngman, and Chris Jastrock. I didn't know if he was there. And Susan Carey for running the chat on YouTube. Thanks to our ushers, Dana and Toby Porter. The emergency exits are on my right through the double doors and through my left behind the tech table. And the slides are Shabbat greetings from the McNella family, Ted and Noel Singer, thank you. And Jeff Wilma Shear and Reed and Bob Rubin, thank you. And the shout out is for Eileen McNella. She retired today, so happy retirement. It's a lovely message from her daughter. Cherish every moment of this time and revel in this new stage of your life. Very special. I guess she's celebrating already. She started at noon. Oh, okay. And there's no sponsors for the flowers tonight, so Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, Toy Drive, sorry, thank you. Toy Drive in the foyer, and also we're collecting clothing for the military, for the veterans. There's a box in the foyer. Thanks.
Please turn to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem.
Shir Chadash.
Shalom Aleichem is what's after the oneg on my outline.
Okay. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Please be seated as we turn to page 15 for Shiru Ladonai.
Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
We are now ready to light the candles. I'd like Sergio to come forward. He's celebrating a birthday this week. Please rise as the ark is open. The blessings are found on pages 2 and 3. So Sergio will begin with a reading.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our own lights, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadik ner neshet Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who holds us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. This week, because it's a birthday, Sergio gets a certificate. And this is what it says. This is the day that Adonai, our God, has made a day for us to rejoice and be glad. We're very happy you're in our community. And it says, Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh, which is in the fuller version of that, what we say anytime there's a wonderful occasion that we just cherish. So here are the words. God of days and years, author of life, we thank you for the blessings of life, for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of Sergio Sanchez Guzman in recognition of his 60th birthday.
Yes, l'chaim.
Oh, welcome to the 60s. May Sergio be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow and strength to enjoy life. With your presence at his side, may Sergio be blessed to see his world in his lifetime. May Sergio's heart act wisely, his lips speak wisdom, and his tongue whisper songs. May his vision always be toward the future, his eyes shine with the light of Torah, and his face glow like the splendor of the heavens. May Sergio be blessed with wholeness, contentment, and peace. Shalom. Celebrated on this fourth day of Kislev, the 17th day of November, 2023, in the presence of our holy congregation, Temple Beth Or, signed by the president of the synagogue and me and the rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechad likner shel Shabbat.
Please be seated. Page 166. I'm trying to bring in readings that we have not done. We are blessed in the Reform movement with rich liturgy. So as opposed to having to always bring in readings from outside, they have several versions of the Friday night service and the Shabbat morning service. So we're going to read now on page 166, or I'm going to read. You all can just sit back and relax. Help me, O God, to find still moments, quiet spaces within which to refresh my soul. Cease my questions, my inner debates, and let me meditate on your goodness. Help me, O God, to nurture my courage, recalling moments of strength. Let me remember days of fortitude and the certainty of your regard. Help me, O God, to turn to the light, to feel the warmth of your touch. My own face and fingers outstretched, alive in your sight. We now continue with Lechadodi. It is found on page 20 and continues to 21. Today, we're doing the stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9, and you know what to do for number 9.
La 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 Lechadodi. La 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 Lekrat Kala. La 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 Pnei Shabbat Nekabel. La 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 Lechadodi. La 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 Lekrat Kala. La 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 Pnei Shabbat. זכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת ולתהילה. שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה מחשבה תחילה. לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי שלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated, but not for long. We turn to page 22. There's a beautiful psalm that is found here. It has been designated the Psalm for Shabbat. We don't do it often, but I decided we should read it once in a while. I like the last 4 lines, especially. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. So I'll read the first part, and then we can read the indented line together. It is good to praise Adonai, our God, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. With a 10-string harp with voice and lyre together, you have gladdened me by your deeds, O Lord, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Together, the righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. And the Hebrew ending is, Od yinavun b'seva d'shenim rananim ihiyu, lehagi ki Adonai tzuri v'lo tabo. Please rise for the Baruch Hu. It is found on page 28. please be seated. We just had the Baruch Hu, which is the call to worship. And now we have two prayers before we get to the Shema. The first is on page 30. It's our custom to read it in Hebrew. If that's something you're comfortable with, please join me in Hebrew. And then the next page will be in English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokhma poteach she'arim, uvidfuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mimishmorotehem berakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tsevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Correction, Avat Olam will be done by our soloist. Page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Havta, Amcha Havta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uv'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach divrei Toratecha uvitzmotecha leolam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem negei yom v'layla ואהבתך אל תציר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
Please rise for the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36. If you are comfortable doing so, you may sing along with Rena, our soloist. Page
Please.
36, Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינרתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ושופך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, ופתרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please turn to page 40 for me, kamoch.
Where are my Miriams? Miriams? Just making sure my Miriams are here. נורא תהילות אוספלת, נורא תהילות אוספלת. מלאכותך ראו בניך, מוכה על ים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי ענו ויאמרו, זה לי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוספלת, נורא תהילות אוספלת.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מהחזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני Ga'al Yisrael. So before we do Hashkivenu, I just want to say that when I was at the National Mall this week for the rally, there were 290,000 of my closest friends, some of whom I had not seen since ordination, and other people that live a mile or two away and I hadn't seen. It was beautiful to be together with a throng. And I thought of that, and I'll share more in my official remarks a second ago when we alluded to all the people that left Egypt together and the sense of unease, but yet gratitude that they experienced because they didn't know what awaited them, but they were glad that they were finally leaving that difficult situation, is what I'm thinking about now. We don't know what the future is going to be. But it was wonderful to be together. I was able to wear my kippah that has an American and an Israeli flag. I don't wear that around LA County. It feels brave enough these days just to wear a regular kippah. I had a flag, so it became my cape. It was tied around my neck. Maybe some of you are my Facebook friends and have seen. And it was just beautiful to sing Hatikva in public and to be able to be in a bubble. Sometimes we say we're in a bubble if we grow up in a very homogeneous environment without much racial or religious diversity. In this case, we were glad to be in a bubble of our people and our supporters. So we're people of different backgrounds. And as someone pointed out, there are people of 5 different religions that are among the hostages. We have, and this will be my last point, we have 3 pictures in the back to represent the different stages of life of the hostages. And it really was heartbreaking to hear the mothers speak about their children who are being held hostage. So let's stress the positive aspects of being in a huge throng, and it's really both good and it's sobering. And in the days since, it's been a mixture of emotions, and so that's just the way it is now. Some days are from moment to moment, like you'll just be surprised with how you're feeling. And maybe it was the same for the Israelites. We now continue with Hashkivenu, page 42.
Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. One more time. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'chaim, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
Let's let's read together in English. There's some beautiful phrasing here that we don't always read because we're always blessed with beautiful versions of Hashkivenu. The one that caught my eye, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomech, asking God to spread over us a canopy or a sukkah, a covering of peace, is really what we want for Israel, for us, and honestly for the people in Gaza. We want there to be peace and to allow people to get on with their lives. So let's read together the middle of page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel for your name's sake. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. If you know the words, join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for Vishamru, page 44.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam berit olam.
We're going to take a minute for private personal prayer. Adonai Svatai will follow, but I think we first have to know what it is we want our mouths to be able to share, because we're asking God for help finding the words. So I think taking a moment to pause and think about what's on your mind, what's in your heart, what you're praying for, is a nice custom to start. So we'll take, a little bit of time, not so long, and then I'll ask you to rise for the Amidah beginning on 46. Please rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 46.
Adonai tzifatai titach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol v'Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Chonei Hakol, v'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imaot, u'mevii gula livnei b'neihem, l'man shemo bi'ava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah rav l'chshiyah. Mashir harach u'marid hagashem. Mechakechahem b'chesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, u'matir asurim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech memir umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua Neman atah l'chayekol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah kitos v'shimcha kadosh Ukdoshim b'chol yom Hayalachu latzela Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We now, as is our custom, will have a chance to look at the words that are in between where we ended and Shalom Rav. So let's turn to page 54. So you're welcome to read. I want to change it up sometimes. So let's read in English in the middle of page 54. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you bless it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. At the bottom of the page, our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. That line about peace on Shabbat in Israel, really, it took my breath away. That's really what we need. The top of 56. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept, we should really say, our prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your spirit upon us. At the bottom, let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. Now, the middle of page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Now we have the paragraph about gratitude, which is appropriate because a little holiday called Thanksgiving is coming up. So we start by thanking God for the blessings that we have. Middle of page 58, and then it'll be Shalom Rav. We acknowledge with thanks, why not together? We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. At the bottom of the page, for all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, your name, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. Jews love peace, so every standing prayer, the Amidah ends with Shalom Rav in the evening, the way Sim Shalom is the last one in the morning. When we talk about peace, we really mean we hope to feel complete, and the two words share a common Hebrew root. So we just pray for completeness for all the people in Israel and Gaza that need more peace and quiet, and we hope that their lives can be put back together again soon. Shalom Rav, page 60.
Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki Ata Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'toch beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael, v'chol et uv'chol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Bless you. Bless you.
We continue now with a prayer for healing. It is a different version that we usually do. I believe we're doing the Craig Talman version
Yeah, we
today.
did it last time. Everyone
That's
knew
great.
it. Yeah.
So that means that I will be reading the names that I already have now, and then right after that, ask for names of those amongst your circles and families that are in need of prayer. I will read a couple of the names that I have already collected, and I got a couple new ones from one of the 4 young women that went to Israel this summer, because all 4 of the young women have kept in touch with their counselors, Madrichim, who are now fighting, and one of them was hurt, so his name will be the first, but he's okay, but still it'll take some time. So the names that I have are, and the gentleman I just referred to, his name is Devere Fisher, and we pray for Victoria to continue to heal, Maria Clegg, Rabbi Mitch Hurwitz, Yona Betzalel Ben Chava Shoshana, is involved in the security forces in Israel, Sue Rubin, Harry Jacobs is negative, but we want him to be More negative? More positive? Why don't you continue to feel better? Mordechai Aron Ben Golda, Bertha Sinfuegos, that's David's mother, Russ Grossman, Sue Kovner, Cyril Fega Bat Yehudi Sarah V'Yisrael Yitzchak, Jennifer Ward, Lori Sanchez, Joe Teas Sr., Sheila Craven, Yitzchak Ben Rivka Aryeh, Torah Ariel Bat Sarah, that's a woman who's watching, if not now, tomorrow from Australia. From the kibbutz that my youngest niece, Yael, served at. It's on the border of Gaza. The 3 people that were hurt, Ayal Shmuel ben Merlin, Iran ben Yafa, and Amichai ben Sarah. And 3 of those people were taken hostage, the latter of which, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland. His mother spoke at the gathering. Shachar ben Shlomit and Nitai ben Revital are the others from her kibbutz, Cholin. A friend of mine, Harav Chana Bat Chana, Susan Taylor, it's a friend of Linda Sealander's, Michal Shechtman, Howard Hoffman, Fred Malkin, Yardena Bat Esther, Brody Glasner, Yonatan Ben Esther, Eileen Penso Cohn, Nikki Freeman, Rachel Witt and Don Witt, Joseph Glazer, Jesse Schneider Glazer, Marcia Mayton, Harav Eliezer Ben Sion Ben Chaya Golda, Laura Block, Lori Wiesel, and Robert Hagler. Then I have 2 names, as I say every week, that I'm reading silently. So I want you, if you want some anonymity, or whether it's you or someone in your family or circle, to feel free to email me and let me know, and I'm happy to add their names. And I take this with me during the week when I pray. Are there any names that would like to, is there anyone here who has a name that they would like to add at this point? Anyone on the pulpit first?
Rosalind Carter.
Rosalind Carter, the former First Lady, went into hospice today. And we also pray for President Carter. He's been on for a while, and I'm glad they're getting the comfort measures that they need. Thank you. Dr. Ray, anyone? Okay. Anyone on that side, on the side? Betty Berger, thank you. Leslie? Oh, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone in the middle? Thank you. Dana Moskowitz. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Anyone on this side? Ted. Thank you. In the back, the sound techs get a say too? No? We're good. We now continue with with the Mishaberach, page 253. We pray for all the individuals mentioned, as well as those who don't have a friend or relative to add their names at this point. We pray for physical strength, emotional strength, and spiritual strength. In terms of all of those, feel free to reach out to people if you're feeling weak or low in any of those areas. There are a lot of people now that do have a myriad of emotions, as I was saying before, and it's really okay. We're all in it together, and it's always good to talk to someone. Right now, we're going to be adding, as we've been doing, prayers for Israel, for the soldiers and the captives. This version of the prayer for Israel is written by someone I was in school with, Rabbi Noam Marans. To Israeli brothers and sisters, we express the words of Tehillim, the Psalms. Imo anochi betzara. We are with you in your crisis. It is also our crisis. We mourn our dead of unfathomable numbers, the young, the old, men, women, babies, children a little bit older, who were murdered by barbaric terrorists and Israel's courageous soldiers who have fallen in defense of the state of Israel and its people, in defense of all of us, wherever we may be, all al kiddush Hashem, all for the purpose of sanctifying God's name. Yehi zichram baruch. May our memory of them be for a blessing. We offer nichumim, comfort to the avelim, our mourners, whose losses are incalculable, whose lives have been inalterably scarred. And we pray for refuah shlema, refuah nefesh, refuah guf, a full and speedy recovery for all those wounded in body and soul. We long for the ne'adarim, our missing. May they be found. We will not rest until the shvuyim, are abducted, those who are captive, are released and returned to their loving families. We are grateful for the many beyond the Jewish community who have stood at Israel's side in its great moment of need. Dear God, be our partner as a Rafeh Cholim, a healer of the stricken, a Menachem Avelim, a comforter of the mourners, a Matir Asurim, a liberator of captives. Od lo avda tikvatenu, which is a line from Hatikva, our hope is not lost. Liot am chofshi be'artzenu, we will again be a free people in our land. Adonai oz li'amo yitain, God strengthen your people Israel. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. God, please bless your people with shalom and peace. And we all join together and say Amen.
Amen.
I think that'll be the only prayer. I don't think we need to read all three. Rabbi Marans blended all of the subjects that I mentioned, so we'll go right to Od Yavo Shalom.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
So there's a lot that needs to be said about what is happening, but I want to begin with show and tell. These are the signs that I held up at the rally. Thankfully, I didn't need the overcoat that I had brought with me for the trip home. So I rolled these up like posters, and they were in the sleeve as they went through customs. It says, Los Angeles supports Israel, and Los Angeles loves Israel. As I said to someone before services, we got props. We were commended by the other attendees for having traveled from the farthest distance. And this explains why we were there. We're seeking to free hostages, to support Israel, and to combat anti-Semitism. And then the saddest one, honestly, and I chose one, perhaps for that purpose when I was handed a big pile. This is a picture of Hila Rotem Shoshani. She's 13 years old. She was kidnapped by Hamas. So I'm going to put these over here. I don't think I need to show the last one to the students in the school, but I'll show them the others. So I flew out on Monday at 12:30, and I came back Tuesday night at 10:30. It was an honor to be able to be there. And these are some reflections, as I joked with someone who was in the office this week. The week's been a bit of a blur. All of a sudden, I like writing sermons on airplanes. So this is what I wrote on the plane this time, as I wrote in the summer when I came back from seeing my folks. Viktor Frankl, the philosopher and Holocaust survivor, said, "We have absolutely no control over what happens to us in life, but what we have paramount control over is how we respond to those events." I believe in the power of our feet, because it's by using our feet that we can overcome a feeling of having been defeated. Over time, it's been proven to me. Once, when I was a college student, I was told about a run or a walk when you got tired to benefit Soviet Jewry. I said, oh, that's interesting. I had done some of that work in high school. So we started walking and training, and we raised up the cause of our people in the former Soviet Union. We ran from Columbia at Broadway and 116th over to Riverside Park. We were young and had good knees at the time. And we ran all the way down to 72nd Street, then through the park to 67th and 3rd, because that's where the Soviet mission is, and we screamed. What I want to add, I didn't write, is that those demonstrations at the corner were filmed by the Soviet government, and eventually they got into the hands of the people that were being persecuted by the Soviet Jews that were not able to leave. You may know, if you remember that time, they were called refuseniks. And one of the most famous ones was, at the time, he was known as Anatoly Sharansky. When he did get out, he changed his name or used his Hebrew name, Natan Sharansky, and he spoke on the National Mall this week. For those of us who are Sergio's age and older, we appreciate what a miracle it was, because we thought that once you go to the gulag, you're not getting out. But he said, apropos of what I started with, is that it gave him great hope because he knew that there were people in the West advocating for his release. So we were strengthened by that. We worked at the time to force the world to advocate for the freedom of our people behind the Iron Curtain. During the same period of my life, as the years went by during college, we were encouraged to lobby Capitol Hill. So during the 4 years of college and the first year of rabbinical school, all of which were in New York, we went to Capitol Hill and we lobbied to raise the profile of the Jews in Russia. As kids, we'd been taught never again. And that was the motto growing up in the 70s and then into the 80s and beyond. Never again would we allow Jews to suffer without people advocating for them and seeking their release. No one would suffer profoundly without anyone fighting for them, was what we thought about. You may have seen a picture in the past week of the words in German that say never again is now around the perimeter at the top of Brandenburg Gate. Like, I'm getting chills just saying that, because in Germany, they're now acknowledging that what happened to the Jews in Israel is what we said we were trying to avoid, so we have to work. The last time I marched in Washington was 1987. I traveled with the LA delegation, and we traveled overnight. We went to see our congressman who represented our area at the time, Anthony Tony Bielenson, and then we went to the rally. And that's where, for the first time, I saw such a huge throng of people. There were over 205,000 people, so the march this week was called the largest collection of Jews, maybe since Egypt, but it was the largest collection of Jewish people gathered. It was a bit sad that we had to do the same thing that we had done when I was the age of my youngest daughter. We were there at the time because the next day President Reagan was going to meet with President Gorbachev, the leader of the Soviet Union. And it was then that we heard a series of politicians, as we heard this time, But we also heard, because you've heard of their song, Peter, Paul, and Mary's Light One Candle. We heard it then for the first time. And they said they had just come back from Russia, and it gave us a little bit of a bounce in our step to know that they were there and that we were hoping some movement was moving along. And for a different cause, with the synagogue that I go to when I'm not working here, ICAR, we walked around Los Angeles seeking to benefit people that were in prison, and there were whatever the details I can share. And we went door to door, and we tried to get people to understand the merit of our cause. So I want you to see that walking isn't only needing to be a far distance. There are other ways that we can reach out to help people. A long time ago, Moses, Miriam, and Aaron led the people out of Israel, to Israel from Egypt. They walked out as slaves and became free people. They had to accept their roles as free people. They had to learn to put dissension behind them. They had to stop complaining and to live as a people devoted to God and to the role which God had laid out for them. Eventually, they did make it to Israel, as we know, and they began to live as free people. When in time, when the second temple was destroyed in the year 70 of this era, they were momentarily adrift. The solution turned out to be the beginning of what we now are experiencing ourselves, Rabbinic Judaism. The rabbis developed a way for people to walk in God's way in a manner other than the bringing of sacrifices, because that option no longer existed. The rabbis of the time realized the Jews can bring godliness and holiness and intention and care and concern out into the world without bringing something that either grew or once lived. God wanted them to treat people kindly and lovingly. That's what the mitzvot are, and the requirement to pray. God wanted the people to be reminded each day of what God wanted for them and from them. This system is called halakha, the walking, the path, the way you get to what the goals of our tradition are. The way you bring holiness and kindness into the world is to breathe in the tradition and practice it in a way that works for you. Prayer also developed more fully in this time. Communal prayer helped us walk with God and sometimes with others, and sometimes after the Shiva is over, around the block with the mourner, so they get to be assimilated back into their lives. The way of prayer is the way that we mark time, and it's the way that we feel stronger when we feel down. Israel matters to us as Jews because nowhere else do we have an ability to live freely as Jews. So when I was 18 and went on the conservative movement trip, USY Israel pilgrimage, the word pilgrimage in Hebrew is, the root of it is regel, aliyat regel, the going up with your feet. And boy, did we walk a lot. And I guess the people that went this summer walked a lot as well. So you get to see things other than through the windows of a bus. Israel matters to us as Jews because Israel's home to those who had nowhere else to go, when no one else would treat us the way we deserved to be treated. When there was nowhere else to go, we felt free to be in Israel, where we could live safely as Jews. This week, when Hebrew school was at a family's home, as we work our way to having classes back here, I said, when I was a student in rabbinical school in Israel a long time ago, it was beautiful. I asked the kids if they've ever seen a kit to build a sukkah outside Costco. They said no. I said, I saw it outside the Mashpir, the big store in downtown Jerusalem. I said, do you ever see kids running around in Purim costumes around Purim time out in our neighborhoods? They go, no. I said, that's what I saw. And when I studied Midrash, the rabbinic parables, and there was a minister in the class, guess what? He had to get the homework when he'd be at church on Christmas. How's that like for an opposite day thing? Because we were always growing up the ones who had to get the homework for whatever Jewish holidays we observe. Israel matters to us because we deserve to have a country where we can be free. We are now at a tipping point. We must all stand with Israel regardless of the level of our connection to it. We must all work hard to ensure that the world doesn't forget that there are 250 being kept underground and where they are certainly being mistreated and beaten and worse. We must pressure the United Nations to advocate for the women who have been beaten and worse. They advocate for the people, they must advocate for the women in Israel who've been badly mistreated, the way they advocate for women who have been badly mistreated in other parts of the world. We must, if I may, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. On October 7, Hamas, which means violence in Hebrew, the word Hamas in Hebrew means violence in English, they killed about 1,200 people, and we must be sure that we work to get the hostages home. Acting now will permit Israel to be there for many more years. To some extent, Israel will be there, but the nature of it is really in the balance. I want to close with two things. One is a reflection by a respected rabbi on the East Coast, Shai Held, and he writes, I've been thinking a lot lately about the idea that the arc of the universe bends towards justice. That's a phrase from the prophets. In all honesty, he says, the older I get, what I think the arc of history really bends towards? Moral responsibility. Now back to my voice. No matter where and no matter what, we always face moral choices. The state of the world and the state of our lives and of the course of the lives of others depends on the choices we make. Israel needs us now. Please make the moral choices to join together with others and work on behalf of our people in Israel and to combat anti-Semitism. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue with Dr. Ray with Yehiyu Liratzon. Thank you. Please rise as I open the Ark for Aleinu. It is found on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'gimoyei haratzon, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. Shelo samchalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'amonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim, u'motim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, vayom hahu, niyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
We have a long list, so you're welcome to be seated. And then I'll ask you to rise for the Mourner's Kaddish. It will be found on page 292, page 294. So in a moment we'll turn to that. At this time, we remember the people for whom Shiva or Shloshim is being observed. Dr. Edwin Brockman, friend of Ted, Terry, Howard, and Penny Levoot. Henry Diamond, also a friend of Ted, Terry, Howard, and Penny. Our condolences to you and the many circles of which these two individuals were a part of. Nancy Anderson, sister of Ken Sealander and sister-in-law of Linda Sealander. These are the people for whom the Kaddish of the year is being said. Allegra Gordon, Cyrus Chady, May Salinger, Sally Kravitz, Myron Crystal, Molly Abraham, Phyllis Royce, Barbara Milton, Sandy Zwern, Myrene Aschenbach, David Blochtine, Robbie Bush, Rita Manning, Jack Pivo, Harley Rockoff, Lily Kramer, John Emery, Leo Schmidt, Robin Smith, Jeffrey John Palmer, Fran Strauss, my cousin who died on October 7th in Israel, Adi Vital Kaplun, and Dr. Elliot Berman. We observe the following people's yahrzeits this week. William Klein, Philip Streisand, our condolences to Helene, Leonard Brownstein, Joseph Robbins, Rhoda Ender, Adrian Henschel, Ruth Teitelbaum, Amelia Sugarman, Maury Gimbo, Marth S. Glasner, Dorothy Masserman, Yet Nesson, Rachel Bronsky, Leah Caesar, Yitzchak Gewelber, Maxwell Sugarman, Gertrude Krieger, and Dorothy Altschuler. Ruben Starker, Lawrence Weilens, Leona Handel, Deborah Middleton, Rosalie McKenzie, Harry Fadem, Bernard Levin, and Hal Bruce Hamlin, Jr. Are there other people that the assembled here on the pulpit and in the sanctuary would like to add? Any other names? Yes, please. Thank you. And I ask the people watching at home to keep in mind the people that are dear to them who died either recently or in this season in years gone by. Page 294, I ask you to rise, as is our custom. Rise in any way you're able. If physically standing is difficult, it's really a mitzvah to stay seated. Page 294. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabbah. V'alma divrei chirutei v'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam umei omaya. Yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Damiram b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Aseh shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. So I don't want to put this week's ushers on the spot because then they wouldn't talk to me again, and they're nice people. But maybe starting next week, we could have all the people that are ushers come up and help with Kiddush and Motzi. If you're inclined, you can come forward, but it's clearly not what I had in mind. So the Kiddush is found on pages 4 and 5. Let's look for the mystery wine. It's not here. Do you have some? Then I need the cup. Because my cup is not runneth over. If you know it, we can begin this, that if you know the blessing, let's pretend we're around one big table, the way you would join me if we were all, together in a public space or a private home. Page 4. Vayerev voker yom hashishi, vayachulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam. V'yachalahim b'yom hashvi melachto asher asa, vayishbot b'yom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa. V'yavarach aleim et yom hashvi v'kadesho oto ki vo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim lasot. Now the part that's familiar to us all, the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra
Kodesh, Zecher Litziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, V'yotanu kidashta, Mikol amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, B'yahava uvratzon, Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat.
You may be seated. Oh, wait, we have the motzi still. Woof, that would have been terrible. Sorry about that. So Rena, I think it was
Yes.
3 months ago that you began the custom of,
Yes, if there's anything that someone's celebrating this week, something special.
or if something good
Yeah, if
happened
something
this
one
week.
you can celebrate with something wonderful that happened. Did anyone's children call?
Grandchildren?
Really? What?
Always. Thank you. My son surprised us and came home a day early.
Come
Very
on
nice.
up. Oh my gosh. Anything else? We have to celebrate the little things.
Any other
That is a yes.
medium-sized thing happen to anybody?
Yeah.
Dina?
Mazal tov.
Their sister and brother-in-law, that was, do we want the people in Australia, India, and Brazil to know your names? Okay. Dina and Chris's brother-in-law and sister-in-law celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. That's
Yes,
a big thing.
l'chaim.
Anybody else? My planes were on time. Okay, no, sorry. I survived Spirit Airlines. Okay.
Oh.
Anyone?
I did too.
Yeah. Anyone? All right. Please keep in mind that all week long, the little things really matter because sometimes we forget them. And now the motzi.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in joyful chorus
As our prayer is humbly said.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon. I'd like to thank all the people in the pulpit. Jody, thank you so much for the service. But also to Rena and to Dr. Ray. You had so much every week. We look forward to having you back next month. That's for
Yeah.
Rena and Dr. Ray next week. So I wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you can make it, if not physically, at least in spirit, on Sunday night at the church. It is important now to be able to stand with our friends. They'll be members of at least 3 religions, the Muslim community, obviously the Christian Jewish communities, so it's important to stand together. So if whatever your recipes for the things you eat, whatever they are, I hope you enjoy them and you take a deep breath before the door opens and the guests come in. I think it's important to remember the blessings, and then you'll have us together next Friday for the post time. We continue now with a new song, and I'll let Rena explain what it is.
All right, you can have a seat. I made my Broadway debut in a little show called Les Miserables. And when I was there in 2001, we surpassed a chorus line for the longest running show at the time. And in order to celebrate, they invited all the original Valjeans back to do the finale with us from all over the world. And the Valjean from Israel, do you know his name? Dudu Fisher, is an amazing man named Dudu Fisher, who did Valjean in Israel, and he was also a cantorial soloist. And it was the first time I ever thought to myself, oh, perhaps I should get a real job one day and go to cantorial school. So I spent that whole week getting to know Dudu Fisher. And I just riddled him with questions about Judaism, but about his place in Les Miserables, which to me is a very Jewish story. And he told me this story, that every night when he would sing Bring Him Home in Act 2, Marius is on the ground and he sings this beautiful ballad. It was at the same time that his child had started to go to school. And he had to walk his child to the bus every day in Israel. And every night he sang this song, and it meant something so different to him. And this song has been playing on repeat in my head for 39 days. And I wanted to share it with you tonight. I've never had the chutzpah to sing it, but it feels very appropriate as a prayer. For those of you who don't know, Les Mis was written by a Jewish composer. And when the composer came to speak to us, he told us the show was based on a lot of chazan music that he heard in his home growing up. So I bring you this prayer. God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give, let them be, let them live. If I die, let me die. Let them live. Bring them home. Bring them home. Bring them Toda Rabbi. Bring them home, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I heard Dudu Fisher singing songs at the Jewish home in LA once. And I had no idea he had done anything you just mentioned. So I'm sorry I didn't give him, we sang together. Hatikva is how we're going to end this evening, as has been our custom since October 7th. Please rise. The words are either in your heart or they're in this handout. We'll try to make other copies for next week.
Kol hot belevav pnima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia, od lo ירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Everybody
Shalom.
count your blessings. Shabbat Shalom.